What's good, guys? So I have another Banlist video that I'm gonna do. I did one recently and I saw that you guys really enjoyed it. I love reading the comments. Everybody was very into it, very passionate about it. People writing paragraphs about what can come back, what can. So I'm here to start more dialogue. These are gonna be cards that I personally think if they come back, people would try some of these older methods, these older decks, older cards. That I can literally go on and on about what cards can come back because there's just some garbage cards that are still just stuck on the ban list. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about cards that actually would make some kind of difference because that's what's important. Konami doesn't care if they just bring back something stupid like what Gen X Ally Birdman. Like I don't think this is actually gonna do anything. Like there's a bunch of stupid cards that are just on this that like yeah obviously can come back, but it doesn't do anything. It won't promote product. It won't promote anything new. These are gonna be cards that can realistically come off and it would promote you trying to play an older deck, things like that. Let me know what you guys think about everything. I love reading the comments about this, and banlist should be right around the corner. It's the 31st right now, and there's supposed to be a banlist probably 2 weeks after Lightning Overdrive, but let's get right into it right off the bat. I have all three dangers. I don't think the dangers were actually ever that good. I remember why they got banned in the format with Orcus and Thunder Dragon. Those two decks were abusing it, I guess, abusing it, quote unquote. But in that format, we had like Summon Sorceress, and like the dangers would help push to the Summon Sorceress very easily. So things like Reaper Dacus and things like Saruja. But even then, the Orcus deck slowly just started cutting the dangers. The dangers weren't that good. They added RNG. They also weakened your deck building because you couldn't efficiently play hand traps in your deck because you just might randomly hit them. The dangers were good if you played no hand traps and things like that. And the thing I really liked about the dangers is like it was so splashable. As you guys can tell, I love the cards that can be used in multiple different decks, so we can get variations. I didn't think it was that strong. We now, if we had which to play dangers, like then you wouldn't be able to play things like Pot of Prosperity. So I don't think it's that bad. I think there's way more broken cards. Maybe the dangers can first be at 2 then 3, or like just bring one of them back, but I just think it's very hard to play the dangers when everything just hit to 1, all the good ones at least, like nobody trying to play Mothman and shit like that. But I think the dangers were a really good addition to the game. Yeah, when they first dropped, it was kind of a little out there just because of all the links that we had, the fact that these would just make the mermaid out of nowhere. But right now there's not any good link 2s that you could just randomly make other than Verte, and Verte honestly is not that good. You're playing bricks into it. So I would love to see the dangers come back. So all three are gonna be here. Then the next card, Dragonic Diagram. I talked about Dynamite coming back, and a Dynamite can honestly come back to 3. I don't think Dynamite's that good. I know people hate True Draco, the whole entire archetype, but Diagram, it honestly can come back. It maybe 2, maybe 3. The most unfair thing about Diagram probably has to be Dino playing it. That's what's kind of scary, hitting a baby out of your hand. Maybe that's too much, and that's why it's at 1. Let me know if you guys know something that like I'm missing, but I think Diagram would be really cool. Diagram would like let you play it in Cosmo, and I love playing Diagram in Cosmo back in the day. That Cosmo was literally one of my favorite decks too. But yeah, I could definitely see Diagram coming back, maybe 2 to 3. And I don't think it's that good. You're literally popping a card to add a card. That sounds kind of fair to me. So I think the interaction with the Dino cards is what's unfair. But if Dino sees a hit, I don't think it's that big of an issue. So Diagram definitely, I would love to see Diagram and Dynamite come back. And those are cards that can definitely be, specifically Diagram, be splashed into other decks. Love seeing cards that are generic like that. And then Draco Face Off, I still don't. Draco Face Off isn't actually that good, but people would actually be willing to try out playing the vanilla Draco and then the dark Draco monsters. And like I said, Pendulums literally have so many cards on the ban list. I don't know why. Like nobody plays Pendulums anymore. It's so hard to play. Honestly, now that I think about it, let me put this in here too, because this card should honestly be coming back as well. I don't know why people think Electromite can come back. Electromite definitely can't come back, but if these cards come back, then people are willing to try this deck again, even though this deck is hindered so much due to cards like Zeus, due to you having to use your whole hand to make it feel. I think Pendulums is low-key kind of fair. It wasn't fair when you were just soul charging everything every turn, but now it's not like that. You have to have link markers to Pendulum summon. So yeah, Pendulum's Double Iris Magician can definitely come back. It's just going to help you add the time graphs. Not that broken. I think Pendulums really could use a boost because this archetype, this whole entire mechanic is slowly falling out of favor, and it's just very sad to see that. I had a lot of friends when I first came into the game. I came into Pendulum format, and a lot of my friends would love this deck. I know that its follower is crazy, and people just slowly are forgetting that Pendulum was a deck for a bit. But yeah, Pendulum cards. And then mind control. There's so many better spells than mind control. I don't even know why this is here, but mind control is kind of cool because there's certain matchups like in Tri Brigade, like you would be able to take other monsters and then use them, or like in pure zoo matchups, you could take their zoo and make your own like Zeus and things like that. I thought mind control was a really cool card, can be splashed into a bunch of decks. It was a cool side deck option, so I don't know why it's at one. Like I said, if you're taking a monster, you can't even attack with it, can be tributed. It's not that. It's nothing that crazy. It would just be another option that you have. Cards like Pengatrops Alpha are just better than this card, but Mind Control is a spell. Maybe like the fact that it's a spell is nice. So I would like to see Mind Control back. I don't think Mind Control would be that unfair. Then this card this card's a little iffy because a hero lives is kind of wild. I remember when it did get hit, it was because of Assault, and most of the time I get scared bringing back warrior support because Assault's still a thing, and Assault is probably one of the strongest link monsters in the game. Essentially, you're paying half life points to special summon a level 4 or lower hero monster. I don't know if this is actually too much, but thinking about it, Hero could use it. I know Hero is a fan favorite deck. I love seeing fan favorite decks get support, and I don't think Heroes were ever that good, like unless we're talking about like 10 years ago. But I think Hero Lives realistically can come back unless the The Assault problem is the big factor here when we're talking about cards that are just going to summon warriors out of your deck. But maybe, and I would love to see Heroes actually getting support because Heroes is literally a tier 3, tier 4 deck that doesn't do much, but I think it plays really cool. I think the Vision Heroes are cool. I've seen it do neat things, but lose to a lot of things. It doesn't have that many great starters, so I would love to see Hero Lives come back. Hero Lives is a very strong card, and it's cool that you could splash it into other decks, but is that too much is the question. Is Assault too big of a problem still? And then Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion, I believe, unless I'm mistaken, I believe Instant Fusion was also limited because Orcus was making Winda and then dropping a Dingirisu, so their Winda didn't die. Unless there's something else I'm missing, but Instant, that wasn't even that good, honestly. Like, Instant Fusion was good in that format, but I don't know. I don't think it needed to be hit to one. And there's so many cool. This is another thing that it's just so cool to have cards that are generic like this that can be splashed into other decks. It gives you whatever level you wanted or type you wanted. You could even get a tuner. And the Konami literally dropped a tuner just for this card, and we're supposed to actually get a chance to play around with it. But I don't think we ever got into a format where Needle Fiber was here and we had instant at 3. I believe it got hit way long ago. So it was just weird to me. I really did like this card, so I hope it does come back. I think it does some neat things. I know this is also going to be a little controversial, but let me know, is there some kind of crazy combo? Because this also gives you a free warrior, and Isolde is always a problem, but this would let you get to Isolde or Fiber really easy. And those Isolde definitely can be a problem because it can lead to some FTKs, but I really don't think Fiber leads to some crazy FTKs for the moment being. So I think this would be fun. And then the last card that I honestly think can come back is Beatrice. And Beatrice at 1, most of the decks that play this as a part of their like big combos, such as Drytron or other combo decks that play this, only play it at 1 anyway. So the only deck that's actually going to efficiently use the Beatrice is the pure BA deck, and it sucks to see pure BA like be so weak. Honestly, the deck is not that good. Like PKBA, all that. I would love to see Beatrice at 3. I think this card can definitely be at 3. I believe OCG's had it at 3 forever, and it doesn't do anything there either. I just think it sucks when the one Beatrice just gets outed and you don't have any more grind. Beatrice was really strong, and these days, honestly, most decks just out Beatrice without it ever even triggering the second effect because everything is just going to be sending it to the graveyard or just bouncing it, and it usually doesn't get destroyed. So I think Beatrice is honestly fine, but let me know what you guys think about these cards coming back. I know there's a few more, but I think this is gonna be the last one as we head closer and closer to this ban list. Maybe I'm really praying that some of these cards come back. There's cards that are people saying things like Hardcore are coming back. I would love to see that, but I know that's not going to happen. It's just too strong. Things like Colossus Engage, those are literally such fan favorite cards, but I just can't realistically put those cards here because I don't think those cards are too fair. But these cards, fair cards, unless I'm missing something. Let's start a discussion with this, and I love to hear your guys' opinion. Leave a comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and stay tuned for more like this, guys. Peace.